Thank you, Aigirim. Hi to everyone. This is the continuation of a series of academic writing sessions. So as you remember, the first session was held by Andrey Chsherbakov, where he explained about the role of introductions and the conclusions, how to create effective introduction and the conclusions. The second session was focused on the sentence structure and vocabulary, if you have remember. Today we will focus on building argument, strong argument in a body paragraph. The following things will be covered throughout this presentation. We'll start from the body paragraph structure, then we'll elaborate on topic sentence, evidence, supporting details, concluding sentences. Then we'll talk about how to create strong and logical arguments, how should we write an arguable claim, and how to make rebuttals in our body paragraphs. Okay, so my first question to you all, what is a body paragraph? So the short overview, the short explanation is given actually here, but I would like to know from you, what is a body paragraph for you? Okay, so actually body paragraphs present evidence or main ideas that support your essay's thesis. Each body paragraph should introduce a main idea, give examples or evidence, and analyze examples or evidence. So usually strong body paragraph explains, proves, supports your paper's argumentative claim or thesis statements that you have included in your introduction. So I think someone raised hand or not? Body paragraph is a part with main idea. Yes, Fariza, you are correct about it. So to maintain the clarity, each body paragraph should contain only one main idea, as you have already mentioned. There is no usually a correct or specific number of body paragraphs that we need to write or we need to include in our academic essay. Usually it depends on our thesis statements. So as your thesis becomes more complex, that means your body paragraphs will tend to increase in number. Okay. So what is the body paragraph structure? This is the common body paragraph structure. Usually every body paragraph starts from the topic sentence. It's our first sentence in a body paragraph that tells the reader what the main idea or claim of the paragraph will be. Then we need to include the explanation. That means we are explaining our topic sentence more in details. Then we need to give an evidence, provide evidence to support your idea or claim. To do this, refer to your research. This may include case studies, statistics, documentary evidence, academic books or journal articles, magazines. Remember that all evidence will require appropriate citation. And I think regarding the citation, we'll have webinars in future by our students, by my peers. So please follow us. Then the evidence should be followed by a comment or by saying it differently, it's our evaluation. We need to consider the strengths and the limitations of the evidence and the examples that you have presented in your essay. Explain how your evidence supports your claim. How does it prove your topic sentence? And of course, we need to finish our paragraph with the concluding sentence, where we summarize the main idea of the paragraph and make clear how this paragraph supports our overall argument. Okay, so let's start from a topic sentence. Topic sentence functions like a mini thesis in that it lets the reader know what the main idea of the paragraph will be. Usually it's our first sentence of the paragraph where we explain why this idea is important. Usually, the strong topic sentences use transitional phrases where you link every sentences through linking words. Specifically name a main idea. What is that main idea that you would like to talk about right now? Do not reveal too much about evidence. It's very important. And also, do not forget to explain your topic sentence by asking a question. Does your topic sentence require further explanation? So again, I would like to highlight the fact that your topic sentence should do more than just establishing a connection between your paragraph and your thesis. So usually your topic sentence show how your paragraph contributes to the development of your argument or your thesis statement, as I mentioned earlier. Although most paragraphs should have a topic sentence, there are few situations when the paragraph might not need a topic sentence. This is also possible. For example, you might be able to omit a topic sentence in a paragraph that narrates a series of events, possibly, just as an example. If a paragraph continues developing an idea that you introduced in your topic sentence in previous paragraph, or if all the sentences and details in a paragraph clearly refer, perhaps indirectly it refers to your main point. Okay, so let's continue. What is the evidence that we need to include in our body paragraph? So after the topic sentence, we need to introduce our readers and evidence. So most academic papers usually require students to integrate evidence. Usually it's quotes, but it can also include statistics, maybe figures from reports, common sense examples, possibly. So to support the claim made in the paragraph or the paper as a whole. So we ask you to include the following things when you are trying to show your evidence. Consider using paraphrased examples, inline quotations, and a block quotations. Actually, I won't focus on this because so you are not trying to copy and paste what different authors said regarding a specific situation or regarding a specific thing. You need to paraphrase these examples, the sayings of these authors, or it can be made through quotations, but exactly how it will be made, the future session on APA style will help you regarding this. So when introducing quotes, always identify the source. It's very important. Summarize to provide the context. So many terms may be used to introduce quoted material, like the author believes, the author claims, comments, confirms, declares, defines, maybe explains, indicates, and so on. However, these terms are not interchangeable, so we ask you to make that choice based on your meaning. Okay, when using concrete details, avoid dropping evidence in without context to your main idea. Leaving off the proper citations. So if you are using someone's words, please do not forget about citations. So as I said earlier, you need to paraphrase them or use them as quotes. Forgetting to analyze the evidence meaning. So you are not only introducing the evidence, but you also need to be able to analyze the evidence meaning. So what does this evidence mean to you, or what does this evidence mean to our readers? Okay. So as I said earlier, when introducing quotes, you identify the source, you summarize to provide the context. The examples are given to you, like in example number 1. All of us know the grammar of our own language because, as Robert Pulley writes, grammar is the structure, the observation of what people do when they use English words in discourse. And that the page number is given, as you can see in brackets. Author's words are not changed. It's given in quotes. So as I said earlier, putting them in quotes using the right proper citations is crucial here. And an example number 2, Edward Corbett, one of America's most distinguished rhetoricians, defines grammar clearly as the study of how a language works, a study of the structural system of a language. Again, the page number is given. So where did you get that? Okay, this is very important. Um, Next, explaining the meaning of quotes. As I said, you are not only introducing your evidence or quotes, you also need to explain the meaning. So explain what the quote means and why it is important to your argument. The author should agree with how you sum up the quotation. This will help you establish credibility by demonstrating that you do know what the author is saying, even if you do not agree. So you need to show that clear understanding what that author said regarding a specific quotation or regarding a specific idea. So next parts that we need to include in our body paragraph is evaluation. Like Andrei said during the introduction and the conclusion sessions, it's important to analyze and evaluate our ideas. We are not only putting them in our essay and introducing our readers, but we are also trying to analyze them from our side. So you need to link between the examples and your point of view, show the relevance of the examples and explain how it strengthens the point. So try to consider the strengths and the limitations of the evidence and the examples that you have presented. Try to ask yourselves a question: how does this evidence prove the point you are trying to make in this paragraph or in a specific paragraph or your paper as a whole? Or ask yourself a question: can that opinion be based, and is often at least 1, 2, 3 sentences, depending how are you going to write it. Okay. The last thing that needs to be included in our body paragraph is our concluding sentence. Do not forget to transition between new supporting details within the paragraph. Here we are talking about the transitional sentences. So in order to link different sentences to each other, try to use um, good transitions, specific linking words. The example is given here: for instance, specifically, in particular, another, other, in addition, to illustrate, and so on. Summarize the main idea of the paragraph and make clear how this paragraph supports your overall argument. So this is your concluding part. This is your concluding sentence in your body paragraphs that need to take place. Okay. Okay. I have included this example. I will give you 3 to 4 minutes to read this paragraph. And I want you to find where is the topic sentence, where is the explanation, where is the evidence, where is the analysis, and where is the concluding sentence. Okay, so we'll give you some time. I have set the time. I think 3 minutes will be enough. So as you can note, these proper citations are used. The transitional sentences are also organized in a correct way. So your topic sentence, explanation, evidence, the evaluation, the concluding sentence, try to find them. Okay, so that was the paragraphs that I have shown to you in the previous slide. So far, no one answered regarding this question, but it's okay. So the example is given for you, the example of body paragraph, and we needed to identify the topic sentence, needed to find the explanation, evidence, the evaluation, and the concluding sentence. So as I said earlier, the first sentence in a body paragraph that tells the reader what is the main idea or claim of the paragraph is our topic sentence. And it's our first sentence here. One of the main obstacles to reaching international consensus on climate change action is the ongoing debate over which countries should shoulder the burden. Okay, this is our topic sentence. The second sentence, who will tell me what is the second sentence? Is that a evaluation? Is that an evidence, explanation, or what is that? Mm, Aisura Gatauva, can you write? I cannot see who. So the second sentence is, so you wrote it here. So the second sentence is someone wrote evaluation, someone wrote explanation. Explanation. Yes, actually, most of you are right. This is our explanation, and you can note this fact by looking at the word because. So because the developed world has historically been responsible for the majority of greenhouse gas emissions, it has been argued that they should reduce emissions and allow developed nations to prioritize development over environmental concerns. So this is our explanation. The third sentence is our example. Someone wrote argument, example. Okay, actually the third sentence is our, yes, the third sentence is our example, our evidence. All of you are correct. So the notion of common but differentiated responsibility was formalized in the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change in Rio de Janeiro in 1992. The article is given here. Article 3.1 explicitly states, accordingly, the developed country parties should take the lead in combating climate change and the adverse effect thereof. So, and the proper citation is given, as you can note. And sentence number 4. What is sentence number 4? So the previous sentence was our evidence. Someone wrote conclusion. Conclusion, evaluation. Mhm. The sentence number 4 is actually our evaluation. We are trying to give our comments also, trying to show our point of view. However, because CBDR outlines a principle and not an actionable plan, it has remained problematic. And we're trying also to give examples here to prove this. It does not stipulate the extent to which, under the principle of CBDR, developing nations should be exempt from specific emissions targets. This has continued to be a point of contention in global negotiations on climate change, which developed countries such as the USA arguing that developed nations should do more to reduce emissions. So we are not trying to give the author's point of view. We try to paraphrase it, and we try to evaluate it also by adding our point of view. And the last sentence. Evaluation, conclusion. Fairness and equity need to be pursued in reaching a global agreement on climate change, but transforming this into an actual strategy is problematic. Guys, some of you might be partially correct regarding the concluding sentence. It's conclusion and your point of view at the same time. So it's your comment and the concluding sentence at the same time. So fairness and equity need to be pursued in reaching a global argument. So it's your point of view. So it's the writer's point of view that he or she is giving here. And also it can be considered as a concluding sentence. Okay, thank you for this interaction. Let's move. Okay. The second exercise, what is missing from this paragraph? From the paragraph given below. So becoming an effective communicator requires an investment in learning and practicing various skills. Even those with strong innate communication abilities will be more confident and present a more polished speech on their 20th attempt than on their first. It takes time, experience, and effort to perfect such a skill, although there is still debate about what can and cannot be taught. It is evident that potential leaders must understand and consciously develop certain skills. Could you please tell me what is missing in this paragraph? Evidence, example, someone wrote explanation. Huh? Explanation. Okay. So, I have tried to give an explanation regarding that paragraph. So the topic sentence, let's start from the topic sentence. The first sentence of the paragraph does introduce the reader to the main idea. So there is a topic sentence. However, it could be a phrase so that it more directly answers the essay question. I have not included the essay question to you. We'll try to send it later with the presentation. Explanation. The second and third sentences of the paragraph do provide some explanation of the main idea. Let's look at the second and third sentences. Even those with strong innate communication abilities will be more confident and present. It takes time, experience, so we are trying to explain. However, the explanation needs to be more detailed. The missing part of this paragraph is evidence. Evidence is missing. The claim that someone with strong abilities will be even more confident on their 20th attempt needs to be substantiated by referring to relevant academic research. How do we know that it's a 20th attempt? Who can prove that? So no evidence is given here. So all ideas need to be supported by academic research. And the conclusion, there is a conclusion that links the paragraph back to the contention, as you can see. Okay, thank you once again. Let's continue. So I would like to focus your attention, how should we create a strong and a logical arguments, yeah, in our paragraphs. So So usually argument begins when someone makes an assertion. So it's our claim, needing support before others will accept it. So like this, like the thesis of our essay, the thesis part which we include in our introduction, claim is the point of an argument. So it's a part of an argument. Just as the content of an essay provides support for thesis, the factual information and the logic of an argument provide support for the claim. And I have included 4 examples for kinds of claims, and knowing what they assert will help you see how they support the body paragraphs. So the first type of claim is factual claim. It's something about a subject when it's true or plausible. The example is given: standardized achievement tests are biased against racial minorities, the poor and the rural students. So we can easily notice that the subject of this claim is standardized tests. So the claim asserts that these tests are biased. This is our claim. To prove the truth of this claim, an argument would have to provide factual information about standardized test scores and the logic showing that these scores really reveal the bias. So we don't know whether these standardized achievement tests are biased against racial minorities. And in this type of claim, in a factual type of claim, we need to prove by providing an evidence. The second type of claim is cause and effect claim, makes an assertion about the causes of an effect or conversely the effects resulting from a cause. The example again is given: television advertising targeted to children raises unattainable expectations and promotes their unhappiness. This claim asserts that the cause in this example is television advertising, has 2 effects on children. So as you can note, unattainable expectations and promotes their unhappiness. An argument supporting it would have to show that the young viewers of television advertising are affected in these ways. So we will need to explain, yeah, the cause and effect. A value judgment. It's a claim that evaluates a subject for its usefulness, maybe for its rightness or wrongness. For example, the Dynacom personal computer has the internal memory, disk space, and speed to meet needs of the most college students. So an argument supporting this evaluation of a computer's usefulness would have to present information about the needs of college students and then show that the features of this computer really meet those needs. They have to explain us. Okay. The fourth type of claim is called a proposal. It's a claim advocating a course of action or a policy or procedure. So it may assert a need for action, the benefits of action, or both. For example, to protect endangered park environments, the National Park Service should begin restricting admissions at parks most threatened by visitor overcrowding. So an argument supporting this proposal would have to show a need for action with information about the conditions of national parks we don't know, the benefits of reduced park use, and the practicality of restricting admission. So we have tried to propose, and we need to explain this proposal. Okay. Uh, while writing claims, try to avoid subjective assertions. So avoid subjective assertions of personal preference. So an arguable claim is more than an expression of personal preference or taste. And you can notice from the example, I think our national parks are too crowded. This is our personal opinion. The revised version says our national parks are so overcrowded that visitor enjoyment and the environment are suffering. So the original claim may have meant that the writer doesn't like all those other visitors visiting the national parks. The revision makes a value judgment claim, so it's a value judgment claim that can be supported by factual information and logic. So So if we have included this valid judgment claim, we will need to provide factual information. Try to avoid easily verifiable statements. Statements that are obviously true, common sense, or easily shown to be true do not require argument, okay, if it's a common sense. So, example, the smoke from auto pollution is as bad in many national parks as in downtown Los Angeles or Denver. The revised version tells you the smoke from auto pollution is killing the forest of many national parks. So the original claim is an easily verifiable statement of fact. The revision is a cause and effect claim whose truth must be established by an argument showing that smoke is really killing the forests. And the third thing for you to consider is to avoid a vague language, not clear language. Use exact specific language. Your audience must know what are you exactly talking about, and must know exactly what your words refer to. The US Park Service must act now to save the treasures of our national parks. The revision, the US Park Service must devote more funds to protect wildlife and restore historic monuments. So in this example, the meaning of the word save and the treasures is vague. The revision makes a proposal, just a suggestion, in which the subject of an argument is well focused and clear, as you can note. Okay. Making rebuttals. Who can tell me what are we talking about here? What does it mean making rebuttals? Colleagues, students. Uh, so topic, explanation. So what is a making rebuttal? Making anti-argument to anti-argument, okay, disagreeing. So in some situations, you'll not only present your own case, you'll also show why others' argument aren't as strong as yours, yeah? So you're trying to protect your point of view. So your rebuttal will take the form of a point-by-point critique, as some of the listeners already mentioned in comments, of opposing positions. So to reveal the weaknesses in your opponent's arguments, consider the following, okay? Uh, your opponent's evidence. Is everything true and relevant to the case being made? Has everything been collected with reliable methods from trustworthy sources? Is anything missing? So while providing evidence, providing sources, try to ask these type of questions from yourself and from that author. So your opponent's logic, try to understand your opponent's logic to reveal that weakness in their arguments. Does everything make sense? Do your opponents make the simplest case possible? Maybe they have oversimplified. This is also possible. Is their case practical? Is the presentation vague at any points? Okay, so these are the questions that you can answer. That you can ask to yourself. Okay, so sometimes as the reader, we would like to understand why your case is better than your opponent's. Okay, so this is the importance. Why should we make rebuttals? Okay, so let's continue. I think we'll finish earlier today. I will try to finish with the last slide. This is the checklist for writing a paragraph. While writing, please try to follow this checklist, whether you did the correct thing or not. And writing the topic sentence. As I said earlier, The best starting point for a paragraph is the topic sentence. So if you're writing the paragraph in response to a specific question, this should not be a difficult task because the wording of the question will assist you. Okay. The step number 2, brainstorming. So once you have written a topic sentence, you need to think of ideas to support it. Okay, you can brainstorm and write them as a draft version. So jot down anything that relates to your topic sentence. It may be facts, details, or examples. This might only take a few minutes or a few hours, but it's an important part of the writing process. Okay. Step number 3 is planning. Brainstorming will probably provide you with more ideas than you require. So read over what you have written and cross out those ideas which do not obviously relate to your topic sentence. So we are highlighting the importance of writing a draft here. So arrange the remaining ideas in the order you wish to present them in your paragraph. Okay. Step number 4 is writing the first draft. The first draft should include all the ideas in your plan. It's a good idea to use every second line if you're writing the first draft on paper because it makes in revision and editing much easier. So once you have finished with writing the first draft, think about what you have written. Check it. You might consider a concluding sentence is missing. Maybe evidence is missing. Maybe an explanation is missing. Write one if you think it is necessary to complete the paragraph. Okay. Step number 5 is revising and editing. Revising and editing your paragraph means rethinking and rewriting. So try to ask yourself questions. Is the topic sentence clear? Does the reader understand my topic sentence? Do the facts, details that you have included, examples, explain and develop the topic sentence? Or is there enough support? Is the material presented in a systematic way, in a logical way? Does one sentence lead smoothly to the next? This is important when we use our transitional sentences, our linking words, to highlight the connection between them. Step number 6 is checking the grammar, spelling, and the punctuation. I won't dive into this. All of us know that it's crucial. Step number 7, write the final draft, and after then try to proofread your paragraph once again. Okay, so this is the basic checklist which might help to you. Um, so if you have questions.
Mayra,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Mayra, there was
hear
a
you.
question. There was a question. Can you share your? No. First, can you provide some examples when going through each part of the paragraph? Asked by Bahit Jumatai.
Uh, yeah, I can see. Can you share your present? Oi. No, which question is that?
It was
Can you provide some
the
examples
first
when going
question.
through
Yeah.
each part of the
Mhm.
paragraph? Okay, so
It's
while
already
moving,
answered. Okay.
you can ask. It's
He said
already
it.
answered? Is it answered?
Maybe you can clarify, Mayra.
So while moving from one paragraph to another, so as I said earlier, the number of your body paragraphs depend exactly what you have written in your introduction. Okay, so if you have included specific number of reasons in introduction, like I don't know, the plagiarism should be solved in a governmental level, in a school level, and in academic level. Yeah, just an example. So this is our point of view. This is the thesis statements that I have included in introductory paragraph, just as an example. That means in body paragraph, I will have 3 points, 3 topic sentences. I have to explain how it should be solved in a governmental level, how it should be solved in a school level, and how it should be solved in an academic level. So while moving to each paragraph, we need to pay attention to our topic sentence. This is, I think we're talking about topic sentence. It was already answered.
Mhm.
I don't
Okay.
know who. Okay.
So, dear participants,
So there will be a next session by Andrey
mhm.
Chsherbakov. Please do not miss this session because it's also important. This is our last session on academic English webinar. He will talk about the common problems for non-English speakers. We'll give you practical examples. What are some of the problems that our students, non-native speakers, do while writing an academic essay. So thank you once again. Thank you for participating in this session. Please
Thank you,
stay
Mayra, for your
safe. Aigerim, thank you very much for supporting me.
thank you, Mayra, for your wonderful and excellent presentation. And dear participants, if you have a question for our speaker, please feel free to send it through the Ask a Question tab. Presentations, Mayra's presentations and other presentations from our webinars will be available upon request. So